fly, Eagles flying. You on the team, touchdown, touchdown. Time to get Jalen this ring. You don't really want to start a thing. This a Bird Gang Nation, baby. It's a Philly thing. Hater, and you looking like you type trash. I'm just here calling on Philly the podcast. And we can call a man dog or watch Miles score off the handoff. Rest of the division, your man soft. Jackson like Sean, hunting like Randolph. Season here, early time to do them in. Your boy Philly Fresco. Thanks for tuning in.
What's going on, you guys? It's your boy Joe Castro, aka Philly Fresco, and it is Philly the podcast. And we weren't late. You guys were just really early. So I'm proud of you guys. You guys came really on time. I appreciate it. But we got some goats in the building, man. We got some great content creators. I'm excited for this. I'm sure everybody in the chat is as well. So let's just hop right into it. Mike, if you want to start, introduce yourself. We'll go down to run it back, and then Tone, and then 500. But just let them know who you are for those maybe two people that don't know who is on this panel.
Well, yeah, I go by Philly Mike, host of the Philly Talk podcast. Shout out to Joe for putting this together. We are live on a bunch of channels, I believe everybody but 500. But yeah, I'm excited to talk Eagles football from all the different perspectives on this panel.
Definitely. Absolutely. You know, this your boy Tone DeShields II from Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. Also, the associate producer for Jacob Sports. Really appreciate all the love being next to these guys, man. I was just telling these guys behind the scenes, you know, if you want to be considered one of the best, you got to learn from the best, and you got to associate with the best. So, look, man, let's talk some Eagles football and get right to it.
Yeah, man. DJ Eastwood, run it back Philly, man. You know, no frauds, no fanboys, no intros. That was not an intro. That was a figment of your imagination, but I'm here. Thanks for having me. Shout out to everyone on here, man. Philly 500, of course, one of the goats of the Eagles YouTube community, man. So it's cool to be on here with him, and I love you other three also. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. I'm happy to be here. Let's chop it up, man.
I'm Philly 500. Look like Denzel Washington, but I'm Philly 500, and I'm just glad to be on with these guys, man. I watch all of them. I respect all of them a lot. I love all of them. And it's an honor to be here.
Definitely. I'm excited for this. We already got 100 people between all the channels. So shout out to everybody in the chat. Definitely going to be reading through some of y'all comments, but I want to start this off right here. And let's go backwards, right? So I want to start with you, Philly 500. I don't want to look back no more. Now it's about to be football season. Let's look forward. Let's look towards this season. We're about 3 days, 3 training camp days in. How are you feeling about this Philadelphia Eagles team? Obviously, during the offseason, it's a lot of, excitement, a lot of getting ready for the season. But now that, people are starting to put the pads on, people are starting to go out there, put installs in. How are you feeling about this Eagles team going forward?
I feel great about this team. I think this is a team that if they cannot win this division, to me, it's going to be a disappointment. I will say that I'm working on myself this training camp session. I'm trying not to get too high or too low by every little thing that goes on, In the past, Jalen Reagor, one-handed catches, I'm flipping out like, all right, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'm trying my best not to do that. I can't promise you I won't, but I'm trying to keep it, somewhat sane. You keep hearing Hurts, he's been bad, he's up and down. Like, I'm trying just to say, all right, let's see what happens. But overall, at this point, some of the guys like Jordan Davis, Jacoby Dean, James Bradford, there's a lot of good things we're hearing about those guys. So I'm hopeful.
Definitely. Tone or running back, one of y'all could take it next.
Running back, you got it.
Yeah, I'm excited. If I had to point out what I'm excited about, it would be the defense. It would be the defensive additions. One thing I've been screaming about for a couple of years now is the lack of linebacker play on this team has been just mind-numbing. Like, how are we starting, Nate Gary or whoever else was in there? So it's very refreshing. It was very, I wanted to throw a parade that Jacoby Dean fell as far as he did. If he was where he should have been, would Howie Roseman even have looked at him? But hey, he fell. We got him. I'm from the time, and I'm sure some of you are, where Eagles linebackers were hard-nosed, and it was a big part of the team's success. So it's nice. That's a great thing. You know what I mean? The secondary is still a big question mark for me. Defensive line's going to eat. I mean, I'm excited. You add Jordan Davis to that, and just the rotation that these guys have. So defensively, I'm all there. Offensively, the weapons, I'm all there. Jalen Hurts just a big question mark for me, more of a question mark for me than a lot of the community. I don't know.
I'm with you there. I'm with you there, DJ. Don't worry. Don't let him talk to you like that.
We're gonna get into it.
DJ is on top of the food chain when it comes to and again, it's not literally hate. It's just he's an honest guy and he just doesn't see it. He gets called a hater all the time, and it's funny because I think me and DJ are pretty much the furthest apart. But he has reasons, concerns, real good reasons. Because
nothing's impossible, and some people call me a hater, but people that watch me for a while call me a flip flopper because I just kind of react to what I'm seeing. So I was all in on Wentz. Once I started to see Wentz, kind of start to tank, and I got past the fact that okay, coaching, okay, play calling, okay, offensive line at the time. Then it was like, all right, Wentz is just holding the ball for 39 seconds and getting plastered in the face. Like, what are we doing here? So I was off Wentz. I was on to Hurts, and then I feel like I saw a good portion of what Hurts can do, and he hasn't really overcome what they were saying about him coming out of college. So that's where I am. Nothing's impossible. If he comes out and does something different, I will be impressed. But that is what it is. But I'm excited for football and I'm excited for this team because I think we can do some things this season.
Yeah, I have to agree with a lot of you guys. A lot of you guys said a lot, but it's kind of hard to pretend as if we don't see the flaws in Jalen Hurts. But before we get into the meat and potatoes of that, before we get into the nitty gritty of that. Something I'm excited about, obviously the defense, but I got to be honest with you guys. I'm really curious to see how these running backs are used this year because Miles Sanders is in a very crucial year in his career. Kenny Gainwell was someone who had in my humble opinion, a decent rookie season. Fell out of favor here and there, but from a production standpoint, as far as scoring, he has a nose for the end zone. So we have to acknowledge that. Boston Scott, another guy, had a nose for end zone. When we had Jordan Howard, he had a nose for the end zone. This running back core, along with this offensive line, managed to average nearly 5 yards per carry, led the league in rushing. We know what these guys can do on the ground, right? But I'm really curious to see how they're incorporated in the passing game. I'm really curious to see if Jalen Hurts can actually utilize his backup plan, his dink and dunk, the bailout route. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes things aren't really going to clear up downfield. So you got to be able to have the presence of mind to dump it off to your running back and let them work. And I really need to see Miles Sanders take his ability in the passing game to another level. This is a really important year for him. And, we've seen it before. We've seen what he can do in the passing game. We've seen him catch, like that deep ball he caught in the Vikings game his rookie year, right? We saw him catch that, even though that wasn't really a good game for us. But, we've seen what he can do in the passing game, and he's just regressed every single year since then. 2020, regression in the passing game. 2021, another regression in the passing game. And he's dealt with injuries. So, I'm really curious to see how the running backs are used. Kenny Gainwell, he's the best route runner as far as running backs go. He runs routes maybe like a C+, B- level wide receiver, which is really good for a running back. Hands like glue. Like I said, these running backs, they understand blocking. I think the worst running back on the team as far as like vision may be Miles Sanders. Kenny Gainwell, he understands the blocking lanes. Boston Scott understands the blocking lanes. I'm really curious also to see what this guy Kennedy Brooks does. I love his film. His patience is what stands out to me. His patience and also his stability. A running back that's not you can't get him to the ground as easily as you may think. He kind of bounces off people like a ping pong ball, and he just has, in my opinion, great stability at the running back position. 205, about 5'10", 5'11", something like that. So yeah, this running back room is going to be exciting to see in the passing game, especially behind the offensive line for sure.
Before you go, Mike, I love you. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but I saw 500 make a little bit of a face when you said that about Miles. And we all friends here, so I just want to know, like, do you feel that may not be a true set? Are you a little bit higher on Miles than maybe Tone is?
I like Miles Sanders.
Hold on, real quick. I'm sorry, 500. Real quick. I like Miles. I don't want that to get misconstrued. I like Miles, but
you're saying his vision is
health
suspect.
And his health in the passing game is what concerns me the most about him, because running backs now, they need to be able to catch that ball in the back. Unless you're a Derrick Henry or a Nick Chubb, those kind of guys, you need to be a dual threat back. You need to be able to catch the ball. You need to be able to line. You need to be able to line up on the wideouts. But I like Miles. I don't want that to get lost.
Well, we've seen him be good in the passing game before. His rookie year, he was pretty good. So we know he has it. I agree with you on his health. I think that's a big problem. And I also think one of the things Miles tends to do that hurts him is he's always trying to break the 80-yarder, always trying to break the big one instead of just taking what you can get. But I mean, a guy like that, even though he has flaws, I don't know very many guys on this team who can take a ball 70 yards, 75 yards. So to me, sometimes I'm willing to live with a little bit because I get such a big benefit of his explosion on the other side. I hope Miles has a big year, but he'll probably be gone either way. So after.
Just to go off that real quick, I think it's going to be hard for Miles to stay on this team because not so good. He's off too good, and we're not going to want to pay him. I agree. Anybody who has 5 yards of carry for more than 3 years in a row or 3 years in a row, they're doing something right. That list is short. I think opportunities have been his biggest problem, whether that's the decision of the coaching staff trusting other guys or not trusting him enough. Kenny Gainwell is a 5th round pick. Miles is a 2nd round pick. But once you're drafted, it doesn't matter anymore where you were drafted. It's what you can do. As you were talking about playmaking wise, Kenny G, he had 107 touches. I say this all the time on my channel, almost every stream. It comes back. 107 touches, 40 of them were for a first down or a touchdown. That's 37.3%. So when the ball's in his hands, good things happen. And we saw last year in key situations, Miles got pulled out for Kenny Gainwell. I talked about the second practice, Kenny G getting starting reps. Now, again, I'm not saying, and I said on my stream that does not mean Miles Sanders is going to lose his job. People were coming at me in the chat for that. However, it's something that you got to note. Now, the coach came out and said Miles is our guy. But again, he's our guy to start. But is he going to be the guy to finish? That is what we still got to see. I want the Eagles to be good, and I'm going to want the ball in the guy's hand who gives us the best chance to win. So, having multiple backs back there ain't not a bad thing. I think it's going to hurt Miles in the paycheck department, and running backs really only get that one big payday before, the tread on the tire is not worth paying. So we're definitely going to see.
I think Miles Sanders' check for his second contract was already written by the time he got drafted. I don't think there was ever a notion by the Philadelphia Eagles that they were going to give this man a second contract. Just like the lack of usage. We talk about it. I understand, like he does get hurt a lot. Don't get me wrong. And last year it felt like he got hurt as soon as they were about to start giving him those touches that we thought he deserved. But even his first couple years, you didn't see him being used. The main thing that the Eagles fans always said is, why are we not getting him the ball? Why are we not getting him the ball? So it's frustrating. But at the same time, right now, we're in probably a beautiful situation, right? Brandon, I think it was Brandon that said it in the chat. Why aren't we calling Jordan Howard right now is beyond me. That's the only question I have about this running back group. But I do agree with you 100%. I think it's going to be very interesting to see how they kind of utilize these guys. Now, I mean, another position group that's going to be very interesting is this wide receiving group. Now,
hey, Casher, real quick, can I ask you a question?
Yeah,
I want to ask you a question real quick before we get to the wide receivers and stay on Miles. Just for one more topic. How much is Miles Sanders worth today? Right now, what's the yearly salary you guys would give Miles Sanders?
Like $5 million at the most.
I'd give him 8.
Yeah, it's not high.
Okay, running backs in general.
Okay, now 500. You said you give him 8, right?
I'd give about 8. Yeah.
Saquon, James Conner, Leonard Fournette, those guys are making 7.7. Is he that?
Yeah, but Saquon's still in a rookie deal.
True.
First round pick, right?
Okay. Let me ask you this.
The question is, what is the running backs that have signed a contract, their second contract? What are they making now?
Okay, perfect example. Austin Eckler. Austin Eckler's making $6 million a year right now. Is he better? Is he better than Miles Sanders? I say yes.
I think.
Yeah. I mean, but see, that's tough though. That's a tough question to answer though, because we haven't really seen what Miles Sanders' full potential could be. If he goes to a team like Austin Eckler's on, that they're giving him the ball as a catcher, as a receiver, I should say, maybe he becomes what Austin Eckler is. Austin Eckler has a lot of yards, but most of them are from being a receiver. Like if we're being 100% honest. So
I mean, that's Miles over him.
But here's the thing. When did Eckler sign his contract?
That's a good question. I'll find out where you guys talk.
Because here's the thing: if it's 6th for him now, then most likely by next offseason, if he just the money, the salary always goes up. So I think about $8 million is probably as far as I'm going. I'll tell you that.
That's very true.
Okay.
Would you guys go after a Jordan Howard right now? Like, is that something you're still down for, or is it like give Kennedy Brooks and
you
we
have
didn't
to
get Jaquan
another
already,
running
so.
back. Yeah,
Jordan
you need another running back.
Jordan Howard's what, 27? You know,
Yeah.
like
He's
you
the
look at
oldest
him,
27-year-old I ever met in my life.
you think about Jordan Howard. Yeah, you think about Jordan Howard, you're like, this guy retired like 3 times, it feels like. But yeah, he's like 7 years old.
Also, Austin Eckler signed his contract in 2020.
2020. So
Yeah,
so 2 years ago.
So he's entering the 3rd year of the contract.
So he'll probably get read up for a little bit more. So I mean, you're probably right, 500. You're probably right.
And he's 27 years old also.
Jordan Howard keeps getting overlooked. You know, I don't know why Jordan Howard just isn't. You know, I don't know. I don't know what it is about Jordan Howard.
I think it's helpful with him.
Team, I think he's productive. He's not someone that's going to wow anyone or blow anyone away, but he's productive, and I think he's young and he should definitely be on an NFL team.
You know what I think it is with him? It's the injuries.
Yeah.
He gets these stingers, and then he's out 7 or 8 weeks.
Yeah,
We ruined him. We ruined him.
I think Jordan Howard. I think he actually could come back at some point this training camp, because I think you still need a big back. I still think you need a physical back, short yardage back, goal line back, somebody to complement those other guys. So whether to me it's Jordan Howard or somebody else, somebody that can fill that role has to be the guy. Unless it's this Kennedy Brooks, what we just don't know yet. How can we know?
Yeah. And something like this is interesting to say, because obviously us as Eagles fans, we're looking at what he did for Philadelphia and what he did for our running back group. The man left and didn't even play. You know what I mean? Like, let's realize that he just had a workout with the Ravens. So maybe this is just the perfect situation. I know, you jokingly said that we kind of ruined him with health wise. We kind of did. But, you know what I mean? Like, this is kind of the perfect situation for him. So maybe it is just one of those things that he's kind of waiting for us to give him that call. I personally would. I wouldn't hesitate to bring him back to Philly. I think that's what we need right now. We need something like that. I don't know if there's another guy out there, maybe like a Kareem Hunt, if he doesn't want to be in his situation or anything like that.
Deadline.
But
that's trade deadline beat right there.
That's how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
That's how I'm feeling.
Speaking on the topic of running backs, just real quick, if I had to guess, I think Kenny Gainwell has more carries than Miles Sanders by the end of the season. I think part of that.
Interesting. That's a hot take.
I think part of that is what Philly 500 already said, that they're not going to pay him. I don't think anybody's betting the Eagles are going to pay him in the state of the NFL that we're in right now, where you just feel like as long as I have a good offensive line that can open up holes, I can get another 22-year-old out of the draft.
But Eastwood, by that logic, wouldn't they run him into the ground? Like just be like, because these organizations, if they know they're not going to pay you, they're going to try to get the most out of you. So
yeah, that's a good way.
You know what I mean? So
I think maybe they'll ease Gainwell into more of a starting role as they get towards the end of the season. That's what I think. And I think Kenny Gainwell fits the mold of today's NFL running back, which is we're starting to realize what's more valuable here. Get the ball, run straight into the hole and get 4 yards, or get the ball, dance around, sometimes break a 50-yarder, a lot of times, miss an opportunity by doing that. I think Miles Sanders has always had a condition. I'll call it Saquon Barkley condition, playing behind him at Penn State. I think he kind of always wanted to prove himself. I can do that too, and a lot of times I see him get the ball and he thinks he's Shady McCoy. I think the problem with that is that you have to be as good as Shady McCoy to succeed at that. You know what I mean? Somebody that thinks they can dunk from the foul line. Can you really dunk from the foul line? You know what I mean? And I see that a lot. I see a lot of dancing when it's man, just hit the hole. Kenny Gainwell comes in and bang.
Too much east and west, not enough north south.
Yeah. I will say this though. I think also is Miles Sanders throughout his career, whether it was Doug Peterson and or Nick Sirianni, he's never got the opportunities that a RB1 should get. So in his mind is, if I'm touching the ball this time, when's the next time I'm going to touch it? How many times I'm going to touch it? So that could also be a reason why he wants to dance around more, because he's like, I got to make the most of 14 carries because I'm not going to get that. He never really got over 20 carries. And even though, Miles Sanders and Shady had the same body stature. That's why I'm surprised Shady was so durable, and Miles, health has been his biggest thing.
Couldn't touch him.
Yeah. And the fact is though, there were times we ran Shady 28, 30 times in a game. You know what I mean? So cut on the dime that's a perfect handle for him, because there's not too many people like Shady. I mean, Barry Sanders, but Shady McCoy,
That's a
he
whole
has
nother
some.
level.
That
Why
snow
did
game
we
was
get
just
rid of
crazy. That
Shady,
snow game
man?
was
Like,
wild.
Larry was crazy.
Bro, we
but real quick,
didn't
shout
we
out-
know what we had. We didn't know what we
Anti-Chip
had.
Kelly pod. Here it comes. Anti-Chip
You know-
Kelly pod. Here it comes.
Yeah.
For real.
But you know what though? At the end of the day, with Shady, we could talk about. He still averaged 5.5 yards a carry last year on what we consider a bad year. 5.5 yards. I think his long. I have it here was 38 yards.
Yeah,
So-
Miles.
Yeah, miles. So I mean, to me, if
That's good.
guy, if he could, 5.5 yards a carry, it's pretty good.
Very.
And if
How
he
many
could-
touchdowns though?
Well, 0.
That's the hurt piece right
But
there.
see, I don't
That's
feel like
crazy.
that's his fault. I don't
That
really feel
does-
like that's his fault.
No,
I
I blame
feel-
him. You want to know why? Listen, there was a play where Jason Kelsey gave him the lane, and he just decided to make this weird cut, and all you saw was Jason Kelsey in the end zone, like my man just threw his hands up, like, bro, you had
tried.
it. Why
I
are you trying
I
to
think
do
it's
the
good,
most?
though. I think it's good though. It's running back by committee, unless you have Derrick Henry. You know,
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
team really is running back by committee. So you want a bruiser, you want a finesse guy, so it fits. But yeah, when it gets to the end of the contract, are you gonna pay him, or are you gonna go get another 22-year-old out of the draft? You know?
And I want
Yeah.
to say this real quick because yes, Jalen Hurts definitely took opportunities from the running back, all the running backs on our team because of how we use him in the red zone. Like when Jonathan Stewart played with Cam Newton, his touchdowns went down too. But at the end of the day, Boston
point.
Scott found a way to score. Jordan Howard found a way to score. Kenny Gainwell to not have a touchdown at all is still mind blowing. When someone first told me that, I think it was like week 14, week 15. I didn't believe him. I literally had to go look it up.
Yeah.
I did not believe that he didn't score at all. But real quick, shout out to Taylor K for the super chat. He said he's excited for the season and keep him in his prayers. Hopefully everything's going good with you, my guy.
Yes,
Or
sir,
girl.
yes, sir.
A guy.
And I want to talk about these wide receivers because I want to talk about these wide receivers because obviously the running back position I thought was less of a hot button topic than the wide receivers, but we just talked about that for like 15 minutes, so I can only
there's
get,
5 of them, so we can
imagine.
make a 3-hour show easily.
Yeah, I can only imagine how we're gonna feel about the wide receiver. But I mean, look, we have probably the most talented wide receiver group that can I say ever? I mean, I can't think of a time that I go and look at 1, 2, and 3 and say I feel comfortable with all 3 of them. But how does that work in a system that we just sat here and talked about, a running back group that was good enough to be number 1 last year, had, damn near some historic games and some historic stretches as far as the run game goes. You add a AJ Brown. Obviously, you have a Devontae Smith in his second year. I'm excited to see it. I love a Quez Watkins. I'm interested to see what Zach Pascal brings to this offense. But how does this work? How do you guys make this work? You know what I'm saying? Like, how are we going to feed all these mouths in an offense that's predominantly here to kind of make the running game going? How do you, and we'll start with you, Mike, and kind of go the opposite way now. How do you think this can work out for the offense?
I mean, we wanted to have a lot of good players on this team, but the problem is now there's only one ball. I think you're gonna see a more passive team. I think you have to, regardless if Jalen Hurts is good or bad, you're gonna have to find out. You don't pay $100 million to a player to just have him block. I think that opportunities are going to be a little bit soft for everybody or less, but they're gonna have better opportunities because of the coverage. And as much as we want to say from Jalen Hurts being a runner and all the running backs, last year they had to stop our run game. And then once they did that, we weren't passing the ball that great. We were in the 20s, right? This year, there's going to be open wide receivers. So whatever Jalen Hurts can and can't do with his anticipation and timing, the windows are going to be a lot easier because you got AJ Brown going to take the number 1 guy. Devontae's going to get the number 2 guy. The field's going to be open because of guys like Quez Watkins. Dallas Goedert finally gets to be tight end 1 for the whole year. And then you got the running game, and Jalen Hurts is a weapon. So I think this is going to be a team that makes the quarterback better. And that's why I feel like you might not see all the crazy numbers, right? It's been since 2014 since we had a wide receiver with 1,000 yards. I want one, but what I want more is winning. We just saw the Dallas Cowboys have a 4,000-yard passer, a 1,000-yard receiver, a 1,000-yard running back, and they lost the same time we did. So I don't really care about it. I do want to get it because it's been so long, but I want to win. And I think that the ball is going to be shared a lot, and everybody's opportunity is going to be, they're going to be able to make impactful plays, but they're not going to be able to get the volume. And you're not going to be CeeDee Lamb's going to get the ball thrown to him 15 times. AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, they might not be able to, but their opportunities are going to be impactful, I say.
Yeah, I think sorry, Tone. I think Quez Watkins is somebody to really look forward to going into the season.
Thank you, DJ. Thank
you. You know, obviously the defense paying attention to AJ, paying attention to Devontae and Quez last season at the number 2 spot, or you know, wherever Jalen Reagor was still being used at the time. You know, now it's pretty much set in stone. Is that guy even coming to practice anymore? Get him out of here. Quez Watkins, he made some amazing plays at the number 2, and that was with the defense paying attention to him as the number 2. So him as the number 3, you know, as far as the Eagles wide receiver cores, I go Deshaun Jackson, Jeremy Maclin, Jason Avant. That was a 1, 2, 3, 3 levels, and Jason Avant was kind of almost a tight end over the middle. So like Quez being a speedster at the 3, he's going to be open a lot. And I think that's the guy, you know, that we need to look for. But yeah, 3 guys that are just, man, 3 guys that can really get, 3 guys that can really get down the field, and then you add Dallas Goedert in there, and I'm really excited to watch this receiver core for sure.
Yeah, most definitely. I agree with everything you guys said. You know what's so interesting? As much as I would love to have that 1,000-yard receiver, you know, that's sexy. You know, we get to say that, right? But let's put it in perspective. Our Super Bowl season, we didn't have not one receiver go over 1,000 yards. So. Yeah. You know, as much as people love to say, "Oh wow," you know, if AJ Brown doesn't go over 1,000 yards, it's a failed contract, it's a failure. Well, not if you're winning. You know what I mean? So I would much rather trade, like Mike said, I'd much rather win than get all the yards and the stats and the accolades, most definitely. But how this team will work is the simple fact that there aren't any egos. Let's put it into perspective. AJ Brown, he's as humble as they come. If you listen to him talk, he'll let you know what it is. And on top of that, he came from a run-heavy offense, so he knows what it's like to get – he knows what it's like to not have more than 70 receptions in a season. You know what I mean? I think for his career, he's only averaging about 68 catches, 70 catches maybe, something like that. But he's productive. He makes the most out of those opportunities, and I think that's why A.J. Brown is on the Philadelphia Eagles. He knows how to make the most out of his opportunities. All these wide receivers, if you think about it, know how to make the most out of their limited opportunities. Think about Quez Watkins. Quez Watkins is a player who really actually didn't have as many targets as people may think. As a matter of fact, Quez Watkins, he only had 62 targets on 43 catches. He has a high catch ratio, though. You know, he catches most of the balls that came his way. And through those passes, he had 647 yards, average 15 yards of reception. Longest catch of the year was 91 yards. So and then Smitty, a guy who averaged 14 yards per reception, only about maybe 60-something catches, maybe 70-something catches, I believe. But my point is, you have guys that know how to get open. They know how to get yards after the catch. They know how to make the most out of what they do. They know how to make the most out of their receptions and their opportunities. And I think that's why this team is built the way they're built. They understand opportunity. They know how to maximize opportunity. And I think that's what we're going to see this year. Despite Jalen Hurts' deficiencies, he has to make the throws. But I think overall, you're going to see guys averaging 14, 15, 16 yards of reception. That's the way this offense is designed. They need to get it done after the catch and make the most out of the opportunities they have, like they've been doing. I think that's how it works.
Facts. Denzel, how you feeling, brother?
I got to tell you, you know, I think that this is all about Jalen Hurts, right? The only reason you bring A.J. Brown in is because you want to evaluate Jalen Hurts and give him the best chance to succeed as possible. I really think that the Eagles are going to pass more than they're going to run this year, like 60-40, somewhere around there. So there's going to be more opportunities for those guys.
500, real quick. Can I ask you a question? And then y'all let you go. I know you said the ratio pass run should it might be 60-40. What do you think it should be though? Because
60-40.
I say 55, 45, something like that. That's where I'm at. Yeah.
I think you have to come out of the season knowing whether Jalen Hurts is the guy. So I think early on in the year, you come out and you give him a chance to win games and prove it with his arm. We don't know if he's the guy or not. We can't know until he goes out and throws. That's why you bring A.J. Brown. There's no excuses now. A.J. Brown is a stud, okay? He's a good receiver, big physical receiver. I think by the end of the year, Devontae Smith will lead this team in receptions and yards. I think Devontae Smith is that good, okay? And a lot of that's going to have to do with the fact that A.J. Brown's going to get a lot of attention, okay? Do you know that Devontae Smith was the 37th most targeted receiver last year. That's, to me, unacceptable. That means they didn't go to him enough times. And if you look at some of those all-22, Mike, I know you do, he's open. He's open.
They tried to go to him.
They were trying to feed Rager too much. That was the problem.
And well, they're always trying to get Rager involved, especially after Justin Jefferson has huge games, right?
Yeah, so I saw that connection too.
Yeah, every time Justin Jefferson has a huge game, they come out with Rager. Oh shit, guys. but so I think they're going to throw more. I think Goddard is going to benefit greatly with all the space, and then I think Quez Watkins is your home run hitter. I think he's going to have big plays downfield. So to me, I think they throw more. I think it's possible that you get one or two guys with 1,000 yards if Jalen Hurts can deliver the ball and can take the next step as a quarterback. But to me, I don't want the Eagles to run 90 or like 70% of the time. I want to know if Jalen Hurts is the guy. The only way I can know it is I got to go let him throw. And that's my game plan going into the season. It's all about knowing about him.
So 500, is it about the volume of throwing or is it about the quality of throwing?
Well, both. I mean, I think you have to have a balance, but you can't have, if he's throwing 15 times a game, that tells me they don't want him throwing. If I'm a defense and I'm going to game plan against Jalen Hurts, it's simple. You're going to game plan against the Eagles. Make Jalen Hurts beat you with his arm. Force him to beat you with his arm. So I think you have to have a balance, but I think at the end of the day, I think we got with the weapons we've got, there's no reason why Jalen Hurts shouldn't be throwing more this year than last year.
And I think it comes down to my bad. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Joe. Go ahead.
And I think it comes down to, like, personally, I don't want to see us throwing the ball 60% of the time, but once you get to the playoffs, that's what's going to have to happen. We saw that against Tampa, so I wouldn't be surprised if they go out there and try. And
what's the pitch count then? Is it? Is it
30
times a game, 35?
If I'm the coach, I'm not having Jalen Hurts throw that ball or planned to throw that ball more than 30 times. I'm just not.
Why?
I'm just not, because we have a dominant run game. We have a defense that can now hopefully make some plays, get some turnovers, stop the other team. I'm cool with winning every game 10-0. I'm cool with winning every game 13-0. I'm cool with that because you're winning every game. That's all that matters to me.
I want to jump in, then I want to hear Philly Mike, because I remember a stream that we did before that playoff game. Me and Philly Mike together, when I said something, I ended up being 100% accurate on it, by the way. You guys still calling me a hater. No, because last season, it was hard for me to be like, rah, oh my God, this is amazing, because I saw what happened. And I think it was Nick Sirianni being his first year as an NFL head coach. They started the season with a plan that he wanted to do. He saw it going very badly. And he said, I can't go out here and go 2-15 my rookie season as a head coach. So I got to win some games. So then he started to flip it around, strategize around what he knew could win regular season games, which is run the ball more. I don't want to say hide Jalen Hurts deficiencies, but that's kind of how I saw it. And that beat a lot of bad teams. Let's call it what it is. That beat a lot of bad teams. But I knew what was going to happen. We're going to get to the playoffs. We're going to play a good defense. They're going to make Jalen Hurts throw the ball. And we were sitting there, me and Mike. Mike was being a little bit more optimistic than I was. I respect it. But I said, do you really think we can beat the Bucs in the playoffs? And I said, they are going to get smoked.
All right, but let me just say this. Okay.
He said smoked.
Because of what I saw from Jonathan Gannon too, and how predictable his defense was. And Tom Brady was the least sacked quarterback in the league at the time. I'm like, he's going to go out there with his eyes closed and run down the field on us. Like, come on.
But DJ, I also said if I'm betting, I'm taking the Bucs. I didn't say I want to put money on the Eagles. However, I agree. Look, in the sense of Philly 500 saying 60-40, and I see the chat saying, yo, you got to be balanced and run the ball. Remember how unbalanced we were both times. The first couple games of the season, it wasn't a 60-40. That's not that big. That's not that much. It's still pretty balanced. It was literally like 85-15 to start the season out, and then it flipped to 80 to 20.
Run the ball. They're holding up signs, bro.
Listen, Carson's 2017, we were third best. We were third in the NFL in rushing as Carson Wentz was carving up defenses. When you run the ball, it makes the play action work better. It makes your passing game work better because they have to drop an extra guy in the box. When they drop the extra guy in the box to stop Jalen Hurts or a running back, now you get one-on-ones. And we have the players who can beat one-on-ones. Last year, once they took Dallas Goedert out and once they took Devontae Smith, they were we were losing in the our receivers versus their coverage. They had more bodies to throw at us, and we could not move the ball. I think this year, again, with the run game being as it is, if we stay 60-40, the throws are going to be easier to be made. And we do got to, and again, I would not come on here and say, as Philly 500 said, that Jalen Hurts is automatically going to succeed. No, we know what he got to get better, but I just think that. I know. I agree. Like I said, yeah. I agree. Like you believe he can be good, but you're not 100% sure. Nobody should be.
I have no idea. I think that Jalen Hurts has the intangibles, right? We know he works hard. We know he does everything he can do. That's where my hope lies, and in the talent around him. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know.
Yeah, and I will say this. I will say this. As far as Jalen Hurts goes in this offense, we're going to be in a very weird situation next offseason because we're either going to figure, and to your point, I understand why you're saying we got to figure out what he is as a passer because, and to Jersey Boy's point, bringing up Kyler Murray's contract, we could get stuck in a position where we win a playoff game. It wasn't really because of him, and now we're paying him $40-50 million a year. So I get wanting to see what he can do as a passer.
He's not getting that no matter what happens.
How Kyler Murray didn't do anything. Kyler Murray literally has done nothing. Kyler, like if you look at his stats, and I'm not even sitting here hating on Kyler Murray, but if you look at his stats, he's very similar to the trajectory. Trajectory, excuse me, that Jalen Hurts is on.
I mean,
you put a bunch of great players around him.
To push back a little bit
down here.
Real quick.
There's no way that you're telling me Kyler Murray has a better arm. But that's about it. But I'm talking about like. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, yeah, I'm not saying Kyler Murray is head and shoulders above Jalen Hurts, but I'm looking at Kyler Murray's accuracy, right? And Kyler Murray's accuracy has gotten better every single season. Last season, the season just ended. I think he completed like 68-70% of his passes, something like that.
But he also had DeAndre Hopkins, and you know what I'm saying? Like
I'm with you. I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. But Jalen Hurts. Look, the bottom line with Jalen Hurts is he knows the assignment. He understands what's at stake here, and he can't afford to go outside. That's the bottom line. But I think. I don't think Kyler Murray is head and shoulders above him. I don't believe it at all. I think Kyler Murray, in my humble opinion, I think he just whacked the Cardinals, if I'm being honest. But also, Kyler.
Well, let me just say this real quick about Kyler, real quick. He's getting paid off what they believe he can do because they did see after getting DeAndre Hopkins. I had him as my fantasy quarterback in 2 leagues. He was tearing up the league. He was in MVP conversations until the injury. Now, again, we don't know if injury is going to hinder him crazily. We saw Carson Wentz never recover from that. Or he can come back strong. Like, look at Tom Brady with his neck injury, came back and still did what he did. I know it's a different injury, whatever. However, he struggled after the injury. He had a horrible playoff game, but there was still a time where he was considered as a top quarterback in this league throughout the year, and they're paying him off that potential. Now, again, the quarterback market is just crazy with money. And, think about what Tom Brady did. He always took less. It always allowed the Patriots to have maybe not great skill positions for him, but he always had a top 10 defense he had something that also helped him out. And I think that because players don't take that type of salary, it's going to be hard. The cap will always go up, but paying your quarterback, I forgot what the exact, like a lot of GMs try to say, we got to make sure that the quarterback is only this % of our salary cap so we can go ahead and fill around them. But, that's just the way it is. Average quarterbacks are going to be getting paid.
I'm not putting any money into a 5'10" quarterback ever if I'm an NFL GM ever in my life.
Jalen knows his limitations, right?
If
Like,
you
he's
have
that
to get
quarterback.
outside the pocket, if you have to get outside the pocket to make throws, that's dangerous for me in the NFL.
He's still in
Drew
college.
Brees was little.
Yeah, but he was 6 foot. He was 6 foot. He was actually at least like he sits on his tippy toes. He was looking over the center. But my thing, realistically, what right now, like if you look at what's going on with the quarterbacks, if you look at where the contracts are going for everybody, because TV deal, like we're coming out of a period where money was down for the NFL. So realistically, these guys are getting these, crazy absorbent amount of money because the salary cap is going to go up. So thinking of that, looking at that, would you say, okay, Jalen Hurts can run my running offense probably better than anybody else. I know he's not the best passer. Let me offer him 30 million, 25 million now.
Hey, Castro, if I'm Jalen, this is what I'm doing, honestly. And hear me out on this. If I'm Jalen, and if I'm both sides negotiating this is if I'm Howie, I say, look, Jalen, we're looking at these contracts that these other guys are getting 45, 50, 40. Let's be frank. We all know that's not. We all know this is not what this is right now. So this is what we'll do. And let's hear us out on this. We're willing to pay you $35 million a year. We'll give it to you for 3 years, and then we'll let you re-up in 3 years. And then at that point, you'll get your next contract sooner than later. See, that's what I would do. Like I would have no problem offering him. If I'm Jalen, I would accept actually a 3-year, $35 million contract, ball out, and then re-up. You're still getting quality money at the quarterback position, and obviously the guaranteed dollars will be substantial, but 3 years, $35 million a year. If I'm him, because he's what, 24? How old is he?
23.
23. 3 years, you'll be 26. Or by the time you sign the contract, 24, so you'll be 27. You could re-up again, get a 4 or 5 year deal. Like at 50, the money be even bigger by then. Like
can't pay him yet. You can't.
No.
No,
not right now. But I'm saying, he's going to be eligible at the end of the year, so they're going to have to figure it out at some point.
But here's the
3 years.
Here's the thing though about that. If you're paying him $35 million a year when Lamar Jackson's probably going to get 50, you have Kyler Murray in the 40s, you have all the top tier guys closer to 40. If you don't think he's good enough that pay him that kind of money, then he's probably not a franchise quarterback. So why not just go out and get a quarterback that you're going to have? Why give him $35 million a year? For what? I wouldn't do it.
But if the Eagles are the team that it looks like they're trying to build, that you have your defense finally getting it back together, you're willing to spend money at the wide receiver position. Maybe you just say, listen, Jalen gets these guys going. He's good enough. Let's just try and get something under the 40 million. Because it comes down to this. Are you more willing to just completely cut ties with Jalen Hurts and restart the process, or give up your future picks for a quarterback? Because either way, it's going to be a process, right?
Your offense is set.
That's what I'm saying.
So whoever, I don't care what quarterback you bring in there, he's coming into a great position. Why am I giving a guy $35 million when I don't really believe him? Because if I really believed he was better, I'd give him 40-something million.
But also, if you're not gonna,
I take my picks. I got 2 first-round picks.
I feel trade them up. But that guy that you give him up for, that guy that you want to commit to after Jalen Hurts, he better be elite. And my thing is, elite quarterbacks don't grow on trees. They're not. It's not that many of them for being. There are more B+ quarterbacks than A quarterbacks in the NFL.
Well, I don't think the quarterback you bring in even has to be elite. He has to be above average. Jalen Hurts hasn't even been above average so far. Like, if you know what I mean. Like you
as a passer, he's right there as right around average, a little below, because he's 61%. He got to get that up to 65.
Howie Roseman did a genius thing this offseason. He set it up for both scenarios. He said, I can set this up to give Jalen Hurts everything he needs to prove that he's the guy, and also I'm somehow going to trade down a couple spots and still get Devontae Smith and get a future first-round pick. Also, I got 2 first-round picks next year, so if that doesn't work out, look at the squad. You know what I mean? So it's the best of both worlds. I was fire Howie Roseman like it feels like 3 months ago, and now I'm the biggest Howie Roseman fan in the world.
I love.
We're good no matter what. We're good no matter what.
Here's the thing. Yeah, you got to come out of this season feeling like Jalen Hurts can lead your team, or you got to find a replacement. And again, there's no sure thing that if you find his replacement, he is the actual replacement. you can miss on quarterbacks. I mean, Sam Darnold was a number 2 overall pick. Carson Wentz was a number 2 overall pick. Baker Mayfield, Jared Goff, right? Just because you got the guy in that. I mean, Haskins, Daniel Jones was a top 10, all were top 10, and they're all not good. R.I.P. Haskins. But at the end of the day, you still have to try. If Jalen Hurts, and again, I don't need Jalen Hurts. I would love for him to be an MVP this year, but if he just takes if he can just build on what he did and show that he is improving in the sense that you can see the eye test, the stats are equating, plus we're winning games, not just because we got the running game, but because of his arm, you can do that. He doesn't have to come out the season and be Tom Brady or bust, but he has to show. My thing with him, he has to be able, if he can come out of this season being somewhere between 10 and 15, if I literally say, well, he's probably like the 13th best quarterback, 14th best quarterback in the league, that's a huge jump, because then you would think that then it's going to be another jump, and he's only 23. No. Right now, I got him between 17 and 22. My bias brings him closer to 17, but I can see anywhere from 17 to 20,
that's fair,
22. Though. And he needs to get inside the top 15 for me, because then I'll say, well, then there's even more to build off it. That's my take on Jalen.
That's fair. I think that's fair.
I think top 15s, you take a chance and you sign him at that point. If he goes and he puts up those kind of numbers, you know, and it is the eye test. I got to see the guy beat up people with his arm.
So let me ask you guys this, since we're all talking about it now, right?
But it has to be this year. So you can't wait to sign him. If you go into next year and you don't sign him and he goes in the final year's contract, then he takes another step and you want him, it's going to cost you enormous amounts of money. It has to be this year.
So what do you guys need? Okay, so what do we need to see then, right? Is it strictly about the numbers? Is it how far he takes the team? Is it how he does in situational football? What's the barometer here?
All the above.
It's the game within the game. I say this all the time. It's the game within the game, because it's the same thing with Jonathan Gannon. It's the same thing with Nick Sirianni. If things aren't going well, how do you react? If things aren't going well, how do you cope with that? How do you change things up? If things are going well, how do you react? How do you change things up? I don't necessarily, I think Mike was just saying, I don't need you to be Brady this year, right? But I need you to go out there and win some situations with your arm. I don't need, and it's not that I don't want him to be, who he is. I'm cool with that. If you're a great runner, I'm cool with that. Run that ball, boy. But at the end of the day, there's going to be some teams that are like, all right, we want you to run it. Like, we're waiting for you. Please run it. You know what I'm saying? And those teams, I need you to be able to beat them, because it is what it is. Last year, even going against Tampa Bay, going into the regular season game, going into the playoff game, the playoff game more so. I don't think we played them in the regular season. Did we play them in the regular season?
Yeah. We did. We got beat both times.
Yeah, I was like, I know we got. I was trying to forget one of them. I think.
And guess what? Tampa Bay played the same defense. They didn't change nothing.
But the thing is, their defense was always good at stopping the run. You know what I'm saying? And I said before the regular season game and the playoff game, if you're going to win this game, you're going to need something from Jalen Hurts. So those type of situations are going to have a complete 180. We're going to have to be able to say, Jalen's going to be able to get this done. But shout out to everybody in the chat, man. We got over 450 people between all the channels. So be sure to hit the likes, hit the subscribes, go to everybody's channel, show them all love, man. Keep this Philly community growing, but I'll let y'all answer that.
Yes, Jalen has to take a very clear step forward. It has to be a clear, okay, he looks improved. Yeah, it doesn't have to be Brady. It has to be a clear step in the right direction. And, I think probably the biggest thing that people said and that stands out to me still is his one read and run thing. Just one read and run. And for me, the first time I see him sprint out of a clean pocket, I'm done. I don't want to see it anymore. I'm out, bro. If it happens game one, it's Minshew mania for me. And I don't even think Gardner Minshew's anybody. But I just can't handle it anymore. I need him.
You can't do it all on one play.
Yes,
Come on.
Because he did it for 4 years in college and 2 years in the NFL. And if he does it again this season one single time, there's no chance.
I got to pick your brain about this one part, though. Wait,
hold on. Eastwood, look. For first drive of the season, he does that, and then the rest of the game he doesn't. Then what are you gonna do? I mean, you can't just say one time. I understand how frustrating.
I feel you. I'm not gonna lie.
The instinctual way that he plays. The instinctual way that he plays. To me, if he still does it, it's just instinct, and he can't change it.
If he, okay, you guys, real quick, and then I'll let whoever go real quick. I just gotta ask you guys this, right? Because it's so, this guy is really complicated. Jalen Hurts, he's a case study to me. But let's say he takes the strides from a mechanical standpoint, from his reads. Let's say he takes steps forward in reading the field, being able to dish the ball out. But this team loses in the first round of the playoffs. Or I'll put you this way: the team he makes strides from a quarterback standpoint, but the team comes second in the division. They make a wild card and they lose. Then what? What do you do?
That should be obvious.
Yeah, I don't care. That's not the deciding factor for me.
Okay, see, that's what I'm saying. I'm just trying to find out where we are with this, because
I think look. You have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Goddard. You have a top 3 offensive line. You have weapons all over the place. And we're talking about possibly letting him throw 15 times a game. That would be a waste of the time on your team. Yeah. So, to me, what I need to see, and you know how defenses are, you know how defensive coordinators are in all season. They're going to go study what Tampa Bay did. They're going to try to do exactly the same thing. And it's going to come down to, can Jalen Hurts beat teams with his arm? They're going to try to take away him running. They're going to try to take away the running game. And that's what it's going to come down to. When I see him beat teams with his arm, I'm going to start to think, all right, we've taken a step.
I don't think running the ball 60% of the time last season was beneficial to Jalen Hurts and his development. No. And I think it was beneficial to the win-loss column for Nick Sirianni, rookie head coach. This year is definitely there would be no point in really doing that. I agree.
They also didn't do him any favors throwing the ball 50 times a game starting out. Like, they didn't do him any favors.
It got to be a balance. But real quick, let me just say, going off what 500 said, Jalen Hurts has to not just win games. He just got to be better than he was last year and be in the upper. He has to be in the top half of the quarterbacks. If he can show that he's in the 13, 14, 12 best quarterback, that is a huge step for being only 24 years old. Regardless if you love Jalen or hate Jalen, he really does only have this 1 year because of the situation we're in. But again, Jimmy G's in the NFC Championship 2 times the last 5 years. Not many people are sold on him as a quarterback. He just lost his job to Trey Lance. So, quarterbacks can get judged and graded so many different ways. But you just got to feel comfortable that he can be the guy to take you to the promised land eventually. And I'm not Eastwood with one bailout, but I am going to critique Jalen Hurts a lot more harder this year if he's not doing it, because it is what it is. But one more thing Philly 500 said is, the defenses are going to study him. So if he even takes the step he takes this year, if he takes one, is even more of a wow, he did it, because last year he got away with stuff because he had no tape on him. So now teams know who he is. They know how to stop him. If he takes a step, that's even bigger, because they're going to make him win with his arm. So, this year he can really show some things. And when you know what the best part of his game is, and then he gets better anyways, even if it's, like I said, he's got to jump in the top half of the quarterbacks for me. That's my whole take. But I will be saying, I'll be live streaming the games, and I'm going to voice frustrations if we lose the Lions week 1 or something. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, I'm glad that me and DJ are on the same side on this stream as far as where our positions are, because I feel the same about Hurts. Yeah, and you guys know how I feel. I'm the hater of Hurts. Everybody thinks I'm the hates herder or whatever. Can't even say it. Hurts hater. Can't even say it. But I really don't care. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And this year, I'm glad a lot more people are hopping on that wave, because last year I said it. I'm not going to hate on him. I'm going to tell you exactly what I see. Towards the end of the year, when we got better, he got less involved. So that can't happen this year. We'll see what happens. I said that I think it should still be 55 run, 45 pass. I think that he can still make a huge impact on the game with that type of split. We'll see what happens. But I do want to talk about the defense, because I mean, we just went yeah, go ahead.
Just to finish this up, because if you were to put a gun in my head and say, do I think Jalen Hurts is going to do it or not? I'm going to say yes. Because
R.I.P. Phillips.
I'm going to say he's going to do it, because I think he's a hard worker. I think he gives everything he has. and I think he's got an unbelievable offense around him.
Hard work beats talent.
And so it does. And so based on the person that we seem to think he is.
The chat saying R.I.P.
Yo, the whole chat saying
R.I.P. But listen, here's the thing. If they give him an extension, they don't have to put something in his contract saying study tape 4 hours a week.
That's true.
He's not that kind of guy. So that's where my hope lies with him. But honestly, I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't think anybody does. But that's the fun part of this. We're probably in the best position of any team and maybe I'm saying this, facetiously, but of any team in the NFL history that might be looking for a quarterback next year. We have the team.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest, y'all.
Give a moment of silence for Philly 500.
I gotta be honest, I'm so excited about this season.
The people need you.
I gotta be
honest, for real.
I'm so excited about the season. Like this season, like I haven't been this excited about a season in quite some. Like this season is so much riding on it, right? We have so much that we're so talented. I'm just curious to see how this team just looks, how they flow, how they respond to getting punched in the mouth, how they respond being down 10 in the fourth quarter. You know what I mean? Like, well, we have those. Like, I'm just so fascinated by this team. I'm fascinated by this coaching staff. I'm fascinated by all the different storylines. We got storylines in the running back room. You got storylines in the linebacker room, storylines with the quarterbacks, the wide receiver. There are storylines everywhere. And, this is content gold for us, most definitely. And I'm just enamored by everything Philadelphia Eagles right now. I'm locked in, y'all. I'm hyped.
Yeah, a lot of people say I hope that Hurts can prove the haters wrong and doubters. I do too. I hope that I would love, and I cannot wait to come on here and be like, I was wrong about Hurts. I did it last year. When he did it, he had a couple really good games. I was like, I was wrong. I'm gonna shut the heck up. So I would love for it to happen. I love my Eagle. Look, this says Philadelphia Eagles. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to the Hurts season hats. I wasn't taking a shot at that. I didn't even think of that. But anyways, I want to talk about this defense because I feel like, look, the offense, I think we're all very excited about, very high on. There is the question mark about Jalen Hurts, but outside of that, there's a lot to be excited about with that offense. This defense, as you said earlier, DJ, we do have players at positions we're not used to having. We have a bunch of linebackers, a bunch of cornerbacks, and top three looking good. But I want to talk about Jonathan Gannon. Okay, I want to talk about what we need to see out of it because I feel like Jonathan Gannon is the Jalen Hurts of the offense or of the defense right now. Like he's, you know what I'm saying? It's like you're either going to do so great or you're going to do terrible and fall on your face. So what are you expecting out of a Jonathan Gannon? What do you want to see? Like there's so many questions we can ask about Jonathan Gannon, but what do you want to see from Jonathan Gannon going into next year?
Who wants to start this one? Well, I mean, I guess I spoke already. I'll start it. With Gannon, for me, it's one of those things like this defense. As much as we like to talk about the offense, right? The offense really didn't have too much of an issue putting points on the board. They were ranked 12th in terms of scoring, so they were able to put points on the board. Now, was the offense efficient scores? Not necessarily, but we managed to put points on the board. The issue was when the defense allowed the opposing offense to score. The defense couldn't stop guys. The defense couldn't get off the field. That was one of the biggest issues. And I think it's going to be so important for Jonathan Gannon's defense to be physical, to be aggressive, not just respond or react, but also they need to dictate the pace. When was the last time a Philadelphia Eagles defense actually dictated the pace, dictated the momentum of a series? It's been quite some time. I feel like for the past few years we've done nothing but respond to what the offense has been doing. We need to actually make them make a decision, not have them force us to make a decision. So it's going to be real important for Jonathan Gannon's defense to be able to not only get to the quarterback, but also force them to make mistakes, create turnovers. I think that's going to be most conducive to our success, being able to force the opposing offense to force turnovers, because at that point you force turnovers or you get the opposing offense off the field quick enough. Now you're giving your quarterback Jalen Hurts a short field. And how many times was Jalen Hurts given a short field last year? We probably could all count on one hand how often Jalen Hurts is given a short field. I don't think Jalen Hurts is in a position in his career where he's able to drive routinely 80 to 90 yard plus drives. I don't think he can routinely do that at this point in his career. So it's going to be imperative for this defense to be able to get Jalen Hurts a short field, force turnovers. just create havoc and be physical, and obviously not give receivers 10 yards cushion off the damn line of scrimmage. That just can't happen anymore. But he has the talent now. There's no excuse. Just how Jalen Hurts, there's talent in front of him, no excuse. Gannon, you said the problem was you didn't have what you needed last year. Okay, now you got it. You picked out Hassan Reddick. You helped draft Jordan Davis. You know what I mean? You drafted Karan Johnson. I like that kid, by the way. You helped bring in James Bradbury. You have guys that, by your estimation, can run what you want to do. So it's going to be. I'm really curious to see how this pans out. But Jonathan Gannon, he can't be passive. He has to dictate the pace.
Let me go real quick because mine's going to be quick. We got to be top 5 in sacks. Simple and plain. Simple and plain.
Shalom.
My whole life has been the Eagles have been a top 5, top 10 D, able to get to the quarterback. Last year we were 31st. It's inexcusable. Cannot happen. That flows everything else. Secondary can play better. Linebackers can play loose. Quarterbacks can't complete 75% of the completion on us. As LT said, shout out to LT and Seth for the super chats. Gannon is the one that can't be trusted, but you still don't blindly trust him. But he has no excuses, as Tone said. But if you get pressure on a quarterback, good things happen. Remember, when we won the Super Bowl, we had Mills and Ronald Darby on the outside. They looked good because of our pass rush.
Absolutely.
We got to be top
Great
5
point.
going at the quarterback, and everything else will flow. That's simple. The reason our defense allowed them to just kill us is because we were 31st. Get to the quarterback, and we'll be fine. We got the tools to do it. That's what we need to see.
I agree with you, Mike. By the way, I agree 100%, 150%.
Yeah. I'm back and forth on defensive coordinators because now that you brought up what Jonathan Gannon said, Jim Schwartz said the same thing at one point. I'm running this style of defense because I don't have any guys out here. I do a lot of basketball analogies. You ever play basketball and you're running man to man and dude on your left is getting smoked 1-on-1 the whole damn game? You're like, we gotta go zone. We gotta go zone. We're gonna lose 100-0. So I can't figure out, is it the coordinator that's just out here I don't know what I'm doing at all? Or is it I don't have guys that can play man? I have to play this zone. I know I shouldn't have guys behind the 10-yard line on a 3rd and 8, but you got to give me people. So this year, I feel like Howie Roseman finally said, now everybody's going to stop pointing a finger at me. I'm going to go get you the guys that you need. I got close to that. Oh, we got to fire Howie Roseman, so I'm going to save my job here. I'm going to go get some guys, and now you can't say anything to me. Now it's your time to shine. So I think maybe he did with the defensive coordinator, same thing he did with Jalen Hurts. I'm going to give you the guys to succeed. Now it's your turn to prove that you can do it. So I think you'll see something different out of Jonathan Gannon. I hope. I'm hoping that it was a lack of personnel, and you'll see something different. Obviously, again, a lot of you too. I'm from the time of Jim Johnson. Let's be aggressive. Let's bring the safety up on the line. Let's do something crazy. Let's bring the house. Let's do something. I haven't seen it for years. I don't even know what that looks like anymore. So I don't think we're going to get close to that. Maybe that's not even an NFL thing anymore. But I want to see. I definitely want to see more aggression as far as defensive play calling. And yeah, Mike's completely on point, bro. It's if you're pounding the quarterback, pause. The secondary and the linebacker core doesn't even matter because the guy can't get the ball out. So I agree.
I'm actually proud of us. It went a whole hour without having to say pause. That was actually impressive. Look at that. We went a whole hour.
If I do it,
I gotta just use a different vocabulary. They don't want to.
I like Philly 500 because he actually paused. He pauses. He says he pauses. It's funny.
Oh yeah, that's how you got to
But how you feel?
do it. Look the hell out of me because I watched the guy.
Can y'all hear him? He's going in and out.
All right, yeah, 500. You kind of in and out.
Okay.
I think you're back.
I don't know what.
Oh, he's silent now.
I think you're good. I think you're back now. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I hear you.
All right, bet.
Yeah, I think you're back now. I think you're good now.
Okay. It could be my internet. It's acting all. Jonathan. I watched the guy throw 80-something% against him last season to fix it. He's running personnel. He says schemes in which have the personnel to do it. But anyways, now he's supposedly has to use them, right? Now there's a lot of toss on Reddick back into.
Are you guys still getting?
That's going to happen.
Yeah, I think it's still cutting.
I don't know.
Phil, I don't want to let you get your whole thought out. I don't think we can really hear.
Yeah.
The
fix it. You guys talk, and I'll try to fix it.
Gotcha.
All right.
Maybe go out and come back in. I think
because
that
I want to
always
hear.
works sometimes.
We definitely want to hear what you have to say on that topic.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
For sure.
Cool.
For sure. But yeah, he made good points. I mean, well, from what we heard, right? You can't allow you can't allow quarterbacks to complete over 80% of their passes, right? We had 9 quarterbacks complete over 70% of their passes. 5 of that 9 completed over 80%, and then you allow Derek Carr to go for 93%. Completely unacceptable. Just unacceptable.
Yeah. And I agree. I understand. I don't even want to say I agree. I understand he might not have had the players he needed or wanted, but Jim Johnson, excuse me, that was disrespectful. Schwartz, okay, at least he made something work. He had some type of, different plans when he came out in the second half. I just didn't see that with Gannon. And that's what worries me the most about Jonathan Gannon is like, are you going to be able to adjust if your players still aren't what you need? You know what I'm saying? If you end up realizing, hey, maybe Jordan Davis is going to take a little bit while, maybe, Nakobe's going to take a little bit of while, I got to figure something out while they're learning. If he can't do that, then we're going to be right in the same position. But Philly 500, hopefully we got your back, right? It sounds good. It sounds good.
You tell me. Sound better?
Sounds better.
Good. Okay, Jonathan Gannon scares the hell out of me. A lot of
we're still doing it.
I don't know. Let me.
Do you have Wi-Fi on? Maybe turn your Wi-Fi off. Are you using your phone?
Wi-Fi? No.
Oh, you're using your laptop?
Yeah, I'm using my laptop. Let me.
It's only weird because he was good the whole time, and then it just happened.
That's Jonathan Gannon trying to hack us right now.
Yeah,
talk about Gannon.
Y'all ain't talking about me.
I
know y'all ain't talking about me.
Let me try to go out again.
All right, cool.
Hold on.
All right.
Yeah.
John Gannon put his head out on the stream.
Yeah, shout out to Seth Rowe with a super chat. He said Schwartz did blitz sometimes at least. Gannon don't really do that. And the thing is, whether he didn't have the players or not, there's really no excuse. I think that's where it comes down to. And you got to get at the quarterback. Why do you think, defensive ends and they get paid so much? That is what you got to do to stop quarterbacks. And, we heard
there's a good one right here. Philly 500 megabytes. That's pretty funny. That's funny.
We heard Gannon dropping Hassan Reddick back in practice a lot. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it at all. But Hassan Reddick got to spend most of his time getting at the quarterback. You don't get a guy with 23.5 sacks to say, go cover the tight end all the time. Yeah, you could do stuff differently, but he has to be focused on getting to the quarterback. Double-digit sacks must be in his game log this season, or we're not using him right.
Absolutely. 500, want to try it again? How you feeling, bro?
I have no idea what to think here.
Yeah, there we go.
Sounds way better.
There we go, way better.
All right.
Everybody yelling at me, telling like it sounded good to me.
It's not your fault. It's not your fault.
Blame the host,
right?
I don't know, dude. I'm so bad with technology. Forget about it. But Jonathan Gannon scares the hell out of me. He does. I thought the way he coached last year was horrible. And I say that because he tried to do things when he didn't have the personnel to do it. Right. Secondly, I'm concerned about how he's going to use certain guys this year. I like the defensive players they brought in, but how are you going to use Hassan Reddick? They're talking about this week about dropping him into coverage. That's fine. You can do that sometimes. You can, but you can't do it to the point where you're killing his sacks numbers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to me, the defense is all about getting to the quarterback. You don't get to the quarterback, you have no shot at anything. And I'm a little worried about it. I had something pulled up here. Hold on. It was talking about Reddick, right? And it was talking about his numbers. I don't know if you guys talked about this, but in 2017, he dropped back 27% of the time, had 2.5 sacks. 2018, he dropped back 43% of the time into coverage, had 4 sacks. 2019, 50% of the time, had 1 sack. In 2020, dropped back 17 times, had 11 sacks. In 2021, 8% of the times had 12.5 sacks.
So I think that's what needs to happen, right? I think what Gannon is trying to do is he needs a curve. So I think, just to bounce up what 500 just said, I think what Gannon's trying to do and this is me trying to play devil's advocate, right? Or at least try to see what just try to see it from another perspective. I think what he's trying to do is we're going to rush Reddick. They don't pay him that money just to have him drop back. They know he's going to rush the quarterback 90% of the time. I think what he's trying to instill is, okay, even if we have Reddick on the field, there may be a moment where we do drop him back just to throw a curveball at the quarterback. You know what I mean? So I think I'm not saying you're going to see Reddick rushing 25, 30% of the time, but if he can be 10% or less as far as dropping back and then rushing the rest of the time, then at that point, I think we'll be cool.
I think 10 to 15%, I think will be fine. You know,
perfect. That's perfect.
Let me ask you guys this question, because this is a good question right here. And of course, as I say that, there's like 55,000 other comments that go right in front of it. But somebody, here we go. Tony Bryan said, "Who scares you most, Hurts or Gannon?" Who? And I want to kind of rephrase that question because I don't want to say scares you. Who do you think that person having a bad season affects us more? Is it Hurts or Gannon? Like if Hurts is the exact same as last year and Gannon is the exact same as last year, what hurts us more?
Probably to me, Go ahead, DJ.
I was gonna say Gannon because if Hurts is just kind of a game managing quarterback, then to have ultimate success, you're gonna need like a bruising top 5 defense that can take you, as far as defense has ever taken a quarterback that hasn't put everything on his back. Or a lot of times I point back to that Denver Broncos team when Peyton Manning was at the end of his career and he wasn't good at all, and they won the damn Super Bowl because the defense was just so good. Or Russell Wilson's rookie season, or one of his first couple of seasons when that defense was just so good, he just had to manage the game, and they actually went as far as that defense took them. So I think Jonathan Gannon, because it doesn't matter to me what Hurts does. If we're, like I said, out here being predictable and anybody can trot right down the field, then none of that matters. So I think Gannon scares me more.
Yeah, I co-sign exactly what a DJ said. If Gannon doesn't adjust, we're if Jalen Hurts puts up 33, but we're allowing 40, it is what it is. You know what I mean? So the defense, definitely Jonathan Gannon, because of how he played last year. And, that was the record-setting completion percentage against us and stuff like that. We can't have that. Don't know how you get head coaching interviews after doing stuff like that, but it is what it is. The NFL is all about who you know and not exactly what you do. But definitely Gannon scares me. I think there's more pressure on Hurts because he's playing for the contract. I think Jonathan Gannon can easily get a job somewhere else with somebody knows, if Hurts doesn't do what he needs to do, he might never be a starting quarterback again. So I think there's more pressure on Hurts, but Gannon's I'm more scared of Gannon.
I think Gannon's going either way.
He's
either going to be great and get a head coaching job somewhere, or he's going to get fired. It's going to be one or the other. So then let's bring back Buddy Ryan defense. Huh?
Yeah, I would be cool with that. I would love that. I would love to have a hard hitting, hard nosed defense. I'm so tired of our offense. Like I'm cool with our offense being good. Don't get me wrong; it's beautiful. It's nice being a great scoring team. But I want to knock some heads off. I want people to be afraid of playing us. You know what I'm saying? Like I want people to be like, as long as we get out of there, healthy, I'm cool. I don't really care what happens in Philly. I want to get back to those days. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know. We're not there yet, but we'll see. I want to ask a couple questions from the chat because everybody's been killing it in the chat so far. We still got over 400 people, so I want to show a little bit of love before we all head out of here. But King DV Sports says, would you guys say on paper the Eagles are a top 5 defense in the league? I'm gonna say no, but we're close. Yeah, I'll definitely say top 10.
Top 10.
I say top 10. I say maybe top 10, but I don't know if I can go top 5 quite yet. Just on paper, still,
If they're top 3 in sacks, they'll be a top 5 defense. But I'll say top 10.
Yeah. They top 10 with potential to be top 5.
Right. If I had to call it right now, I would say top 10. Yeah, it's possible they could be top 5. If they can get back to that,
top 10.
If they can get back to that, yeah, seriously. If they can get back to that 2017, lead the league and, the best rushing defense in the league and all that, then yeah. But, it's too much of a question mark right now.
Yeah. Man, some of these names in here, like I want to ask your questions, but like You guys got to ask your parents before you guys make your names. Like some of these things are like, damn, bro.
I'm the worst at reading people's names.
Bro, no, I'm not even saying like hard to read. I'm just saying some of these are so inappropriate. Bro,
go F yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like calm down, guys. Y'all were upset when y'all made y'all names.
like the thing that bothers me with Jonathan Gannon is that I just keep thinking about like the Oakland Raiders, the Vegas Raiders game, the Kansas City game, the Justin Herbert game, where these guys, their jerseys are clean and they're throwing like 34, 37. And it's like, how long are you going to allow guys to do that? Before trying something, before trying to make some sort of adjustment or do something to change what is happening. And he just didn't do it. So that's my concern. That's why I worry about with him, you know?
Yeah. And the crazy thing with Gannon, real quick, last year, you know, he did sometimes adjust, but he only it took him a whole half. We actually played pretty decent defense down the stretch. Well, we also played bad teams, but in the second half. But even the bad teams we played, they were killing us. Zach Wilson was tearing us up in the first half. And then in the second half, we shut the Jets down and all that.
Everybody stunk, and he was great against us.
I hate Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson cried because he didn't win Mr. Utah. So I'm good on him.
He got depressed.
I always thought he was just soft.
His mom's friend. What are you gonna do? You got to give the guy credit.
Part of it. I respect that. Yeah, I respect that part of it. I ain't mad at it. He probably the yoga king. He probably there every day. Now shout out to Name Brain. He says, how many points do you guys think Hurts will need to average with this defense?
I'm confused by that question.
How many points does the average?
So he's asking
I'm assuming, how much the offense has to, how many offense.
Is he asking how much the defense is going to give up?
Basically, that's basically what it sounds like. How many points do you think Hurts is going to need to win games?
27 points.
In the 20.
Points.
Oh, I thought you said 0.7. I was like, how's
no, 27 points. This ain't the Reggie days. I would say 10 points. But I think 27 points, man. I think you gotta be upper echelon. Like I said, that offense is too talented all across the board for you to be, not being able to score points. I really think so.
I respect that. Yeah, I would say around the same. As long as we stay around where we were last year, we were around 12. If we stay around 12th, I don't see why it wouldn't win us a lot more games, especially with this with this schedule. We have an easy ass schedule. I don't think
that's a big factor,
it should be too tough.
This team should average 30 points a game, honestly.
Yeah, they averaged 26.1 last season. So
26.
Yeah, 26.1.
Wow.
The addition of AJ Brown and the hopeful step forward of Jalen Hurts and things like that, they should be able to get to 30, I think.
Now, let me ask you two more. I want to ask two more questions to the panel, and then we're probably going to close it up. The first question I want to ask is, what's the realistic hope from this season? Obviously, I'm not talking about wins and Super Bowl, but what do you want to learn about this team? Are you going into this year saying, let's just make sure we know Jalen Hurts is that guy? Are you looking at Gannon saying we got to make sure he's the guy? Are you looking at Sirianni saying we have to make sure? What's the biggest? Last year, I feel like it was just kind of figuring out what Hurts was, figuring out what this team was as a whole. But what are we looking for? Individually, what are you looking for out of this team this year?
Hurts and Gannon for me. I gotta know the future. The future of this team is gonna lie and mainly Hurts, but I still want to see Gannon, whether he, as Philly 500 says, does so well he gets another job somewhere else. But I think that is, I think if something could go wrong this season, it's one of them will be the reason why. So that's what I want to see. I think that this team is loaded. And again, I think BG says Bergang said it before. Not too many off seasons we go into the season with the paper champ word. We're always we're good, but we don't got we're not talked about that much, and we still go and make things happen. So I think with the additions we had now, got to see Hurts.
Yeah, I think for me, I'm just 100% looking at is Jalen Hurts a franchise quarterback? Is he a quarterback of the future? I think it's set up perfectly to find out the answer to that this season. The last thing we want is a Daniel Jones situation in New York where you're on year what feels like 12 and the guy still stinks. So you don't want to waste a whole bunch of time, especially when your offense is relatively young right now, and you got some young offensive linemen coming up and all that. So I think that's definitely what I'm looking for. Is Jalen Hurts the answer? Jonathan Gannon, to me, like Philly said, he could come or go. Really, you know what I mean? He could be great and get another job. He could get fired if he's bad. I don't think it really matters that much in the long run. I said I'm more scared of Jonathan Gannon this season based on our overall success this season. But yeah, a defensive coordinator can just be a throwaway. You're looking for a future franchise quarterback, and I really think that's just the main thing I'm looking for this season. That's why I don't think it makes sense to tailor the offense to be run heavy just to win a bunch of regular season games, because it doesn't really get you anywhere in the long run. Like, yeah, it's fun. It sneaks you into the playoffs so all the people could say, we made the playoffs. Hater, look what – it didn't matter. I don't care. I want to see something that can be longevity. That's just where I'm at with it.
Well, you got to start somewhere, though. You got to start somewhere. You know?
I concur.
Yes.
He said it perfect. I totally agree with everything he said.
I agree with everything they said. Just to add to it, I need to see high quality victories, and I need to see this team be able to get punched in the mouth and respond. There are whether we like it or not, there are going to be games where the Philadelphia Eagles are down by 10 going into the fourth quarter, and Jalen Hurts is going to have to will this team back. He's going to have to throw the pill. I need to see Jalen Hurts. I need to see Jalen Hurts have that infamous Matthew Stafford drive. When the drive may be 14, 15, 16 plays, you got to throw the ball every single time. I need to see him win, like we've been saying, win with your arm. You know what I'm saying? As far as Nick Sirianni goes, I need to see creativity. I need to see you be able to create so much space with this talent. Like it's no excuse, man. Like I agree with everything you guys said, but for me, like I said, it's really about quality of victories, and it's really about just being able to see this team respond when things are looking bleak. Can Jalen Hurts throw that ball 13, 14, 15 times in a row if he has to and complete? Can he move the chains on a game-winning drive? I need to see that.
And don't ruin my Christmas. Don't ruin my Christmas because they play Christmas Eve, the Cowboys.
Yeah,
that's my holiday right there, dude. You're gonna screw
that's one of my favorites. Yeah, that's one of my favorites. They better not mess that up. I do agree with everything you guys are saying. Obviously, those are the big. I'm gonna say, just to say something that nobody else has said yet. We got to get this special teams right. I think that the Eagles have been a team that has lived off of great special teams play. Like if you really look at Donnie Jones was one of the top 10, punters in the league. That helps. You know what I'm saying? We talk about Jalen Hurts not having short fields. We need that. So. That's what we need, man. That's what we need. Yeah, maybe we need to throw. I was going to say we need to throw Philly 500 out there, man. Because at this point, I'm pretty sure he can average more than Jalen Reagor.
2-yard return. You got to get a return. They haven't had a return since Sproles.
What was the obsession? What was the obsession at that position? I mean, it got to the point where
I have no idea.
College.
It got to the point where the fans were booing him coming on the field. They were still. And then he muffled another one.
He was supposed to be really good in college. I mean,
you know what I think it is? I think it came down to this. It came down to they realized that this man is just mentally blocked and he's not going to get good at wide receiver. So they were like, and I don't want to say it like that. That sounds mean, but you guys know what I'm saying. You look at this. You look at how he was going. It was just not getting better. Let's let him do something simple, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just catch the ball real quick. Get the ball in your hand, get in space, try and do something. So I think that's what they were trying to do. It just didn't work because he can't. He was just so mentally blocked up, man. It's just, I don't know. I don't know. So I really think that's what it is.
Who has a better chance to not make the team, Whiteside or Reagor?
Whiteside.
It shouldn't even be a question anymore.
Yeah, I would say Whiteside. But it's funny. I mean, Whiteside is really good on special teams. I mean,
oh my God,
that's the thing, though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Rager's not good at anything. That's very true. That is very true. So if you look at it that way, I mean, yes, but J-Jaw at least has some type of value. I don't know if Rager has any.
The sad
If I'm
part
being
is
100% honest.
Rager came into shape though. They said he's in shape.
Yeah, he
been in shape since his rookie year, man. Like
nah, he came in. He failed his physical last year. Remember?
Yeah.
Coming.
Oh yeah, that's true. He did.
And he's going through a lot right now.
But Whiteside stinks.
He does.
Yo,
Okay.
Whiteside,
do.
the story of Whiteside is just why it's like unfathomable.
That sounds like a terrible sports movie, by the way. The story of Whiteside.
That's what
you can't even call him Ortega. You have to say Ortega.
Instead of the blind side, it'll be the white side. We need a 30 for 30 about what the heck happened with the Eagles and Doug Peterson. That's what I'm still trying to figure out what the heck happened. Like that is going to probably be the best three-part series ever.
I do think we got questions at the tight end number 2 spot. I think there's
Grant Calcaterra just got hurt.
I never asked this question. I never asked this question.
He was good
too.
too.
I never asked this question, but what does the JJ stand for in JJ Arcega-Whiteside? Because, like, even with that abbreviated, the guy has way too long of a name for how terrible he is. You know what I mean?
Not Julio Jones, I'll tell you that much. And it definitely ain't.
Way too much jersey real estate for not enough production. So keep the JJ abbreviated.
For Jackass,
then he got touched.
Then he got catches. J-Jaw might mean just jump because that's kind of all he can do, right? He's just the guy that jumps in the end zone and tries to get the jump ball.
Or just jump off the bridge, like just jump.
Now you're adding too many letters.
How do you bring your mom to practice? I love my mom. I love my mama, but you don't go to practice with your mom. Just like I don't understand how we get and if you go back and watch, just joking. If you go back and watch his highlights at Stanford, he was pretty good. He was pretty physical.
He was
I'm just so glad we got AJ Brown and Devontae Smith because when you just looked at the Whiteside and Rager pick, it was just like doom and gloom at the wide receiver spot.
But the thing is not only did his mom go there, she followed him around with an umbrella.
Yeah,
because it was too sunny.
On a sunny day. If to me, when I see a guy walking around with an umbrella, okay, on a sunny day, I think there's either going to be some sort of like terrorist attack or something, or I think dude's in a wuss, especially on a football field. No, I'm serious. The umbrella thing is like if you look at all these conspiracy theories, I'm a conspiracy theorist. There's always a dude in a black umbrella. It always is there. It's true.
Hey, if you get jumped on the sidewalk and you look around, the only random person is a guy holding an umbrella. He's not helping you out. He's not helping you out.
No. Or his mom's holding the umbrella for him.
That's even worse.
That's
man. I need to get his mom on this podcast. That's what I need to do. I need to get Mama Jaquan or whatever the heck his real name is because Arcega-Whiteside. I don't even want to talk about him anymore. All right, the last question I want to ask. Everybody.
Serious analysis of JJ Arcega-Whiteside. I'm going to post this clip on YouTube. Seriously,
the JJ. That's what we need to find out because now I'm seeing jumping jacks, jumping joke, juggling joke. Like I'm saying, what is JJ stand for? That's a good question right there. But I want to ask you guys, man, what do you think? And I know you guys have been waiting for this. This is what every content creator, every reporter loves to be asked. What's your record prediction? How do you think these Eagles are going to do? I got these guys at least. My floor is 10 wins. My ceiling is like 12, 13. How do y'all feel about this team?
I think this team goes 12-5, honestly. 12-5. I'm looking at the schedule. I'm looking at the strength of it. If we take care of business early, I think this team can really win 12 games. I think we split with Washington. I think we split with Dallas. I think we lose to the Colts on the road. I think we lose to the Cardinals on the road. And I also think we lose to – I have it written down here. But, yeah, like I think 12-5. Yeah, we split Cowboys, split Washington, lose to the damn Colts, lose to the Cardinals, and then we lose to Green Bay.
Yeah, I think I'm going to put us at 10-7. Or 11-6, but I think like the bigger picture here is going to be the eye test and what really happened in those most important games because I think you could be in an area where like the San Francisco 49ers go all the way to the Super Bowl and we're still like is Jimmy G the guy? You know what I mean? So I think if we do go 12-5, people are definitely going to be coming at me. Look at our record, you hater. You know what I mean? But I really think it's still going to be okay. But how did we not get to where we wanted to get to when we had the opportunity? And did Hurts improve on these things and these things and these things? So I don't know if the record even matters, but I think this team is talented enough to go 10-7 or 11-6 for sure.
So we're only good enough to win one more game?
It's a different season. Yeah. It's a different set of teams.
I think the ultimate thing that matters is still a big question mark. So I can't go crazy.
I respect it.
Yeah, I got 11-6, 12-5. I see that's where I would guess. I didn't really think about like what is like the ceiling, because it's hard to go like 13, 14 wins in this league because of the nature of the sport, the injuries. It's a long season, and no matter how good you are, there's always that one team that you shouldn't lose to, and you lose to. That's everybody. The Chiefs are going to lose to somebody who's really not that good. The Packers, everybody. It happens. But the way our schedule is set, I got us winning 11 or 12 games.
Yeah, I'm with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I have about 11 or 12 wins too, and they could win 11 or 12, and Hurts still could not be the guy. That is very possible. It's very possible. But the schedule, I don't know. When I look at the schedule, like I think it's like easier than last year. Last year was like, we're not beating Tampa, we're not beating Kansas City, we're not beating the Chargers. This year, I mean, there's a couple teams I think we lose to Green Bay. I think we lose to the Colts. We're sweeping Dallas this year. And
that's a big win right there. If we sweep Dallas, I love that. I hate them.
They can't ruin my holiday. But when I think in terms of like what this team can do, like I think the division is up for grabs. I think Dallas got worse, so I think they should at the very least be able to win a division and get a home playoff game. I think if they do that and they can win one round, I think that's a nice step, and then hopefully Hurts proved that he was a guy. If we get in a situation where we struggle early and we have to go back to this run heavy offense again, and then we're winning, then I can't come out of the season going Hurts is the guy. So the wins don't mean that Hurts is the guy. Those are two different topics in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And I've even said it. I've said it before. We could go into this playoffs 14-3 and still think that we're gonna get blown out in the first round. We have a pretty easy schedule, if I'm being 100% honest. Yeah. And you look at the team around it. I agree with 100% of what you guys said. We could go into the playoffs and still be questioning a lot of things about this team. But I think everybody in the chat looks like they're around 10 to 12, 13. I've seen some 14s. I do a weekly show with James, for Best of Enemies. He's a Cowboys guy. I said 14 wins because it's hard to really look at this schedule and go week by week and say we're definitely going to lose this one. Whereas last year, there was like a good
easy. It's favorable. That's the disconnect. It's favorable, not easy.
If you're talking to a Cowboys fan, right? If you're
we're 16 and up.
Always say more. Always say more to piss them off. Anything he says, I always increase it by like 2 or 3 just to get under.
There's going to be some losses that you should have won, though.
Exactly.
I anticipate that because
Jacksonville, Detroit, week 1.
I asked Philly 500 this question. I don't know if I asked Joe this question because we just did a stream together too. But what is your percentage, like a percent that we could actually lose week 1? I think what would you say, like 18%, 15%? You said Philly 500 was 18, and I said it's a small chance. You can lose any given Sunday, but the rest of the panel before we get out of here, what is your percent that we got this great off season and we come out and go lose game 1 to the Lions? Give me a percentage out of 100.
30%.
Yeah, that's high, bro.
30%.
I'm gonna
tell you why, because it's week 1. And teams are coming out high energy. And I got to be honest, that Detroit team, I've been paying attention to their all season. They have made that offense is slightly more formidable. They have some talent at the wide receiver room. They have a talented running back room with DeAndre with Swift. It's going to come down to the quarterback obviously, but I just feel like that a game like that on the road, Detroit's coming to get their get back. We blew them out, and I just feel like if it's a 30% chance, because who knows, this team may come up. This team may come out sleepwalking. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not saying we don't get better as the season goes, but you know we got to be realistic. These other guys get paid too, and you know week 1 everybody 0-0. This team may come out with the passion.
Yeah, I'm gonna say there's a 10% chance that we lose to the Lions week 1. I don't see that happening. I think it's going to be like week 1 of last season against the Falcons, and the Eagles are going to smack them in the face, and then it's going to look like a Super Bowl team, and then you know Philly's going to go way over the top and throw a parade after week 1, and then we're all going to
be like,
we're all going to get stabbed in the heart like 7 days later, you know. But yeah, I don't see that happening. The Giants defense, I just Googled it right now, is ranked 29th going into the season. I think we have enough talent on the offensive side of the ball that we shouldn't be. If we do, we are in big time trouble, not just with the quarterback position, but a lot of other things.
Hurts comes out week 1, throws 4 touchdowns. How about that?
I'm not paying no mind. I'm not paying no mind.
Better. I will say the Lions. The Lions probably have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder against us. If you look at their season last year, obviously we blew them out last year. But you look at their season, they were close in a lot of those games.
That's what I'm saying.
Outside of ours. But outside of ours, we were the only team that really just went in there and blew them out. So they might feel some type of way about that. Obviously, Deuce Staley's over there. Obviously, they got some faces that we're pretty familiar with. So there's a chance. I'm going to say like 15%. But to the same token... But to the same token, there's a 15% chance that I fly down to Philly and knock Nick Sirianni out if that happens. So if we lose to the line, I will be very upset. I will be I know a couple people that work out there at Woodward Sports, the media for the Lions and stuff. And if I have to listen to them talk junk, I'm not going to like it. I'm going to put it that way.
We have a lot of pass rushers, and Jared Goff can't move, man. The guy's stuck in cement. So
question: How is the Lions' offensive line right now? Like, do you guys?
It's pretty damn good. I think they're top 3.
Ranked third. Yeah, they're ranked 3rd going into the season. I just checked that too.
Wow.
Yeah, they're pretty damn good, and they're pretty young, if I'm not mistaken. Their offensive line's pretty young. They got a team. They're building something out there, but they also have never been to a Super Bowl. So until that happens, you know, I can't really take them too serious. It is what it is. Maybe that's just our recent Super Bowl talking because we got one. You know what I'm saying? But I can't wait.
Goodness.
I can't wait. So everybody is feeling really good about these Eagles. I am about to close this up. We're about at an hour and 40 minutes. We got 445 people still in here throughout all the channels. Wherever you are, be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe. Check everybody out on the panel. You know what I'm saying? The Philadelphia Eagles community is one of the best content creation communities out there. So shout out to everybody in the chat. You guys were amazing, except for Go F Yourself. I think he went and effed himself or something. I don't know. He's no longer in the chat. So shout out to everybody in there, man. This was a lot of fun. We got to do this again. I'm sure we'll do it with even more people. You know what I'm saying? But do you guys have anything y'all want to say before we do close this out?
Go ahead.
Thanks for having us on. I appreciate
it. Yeah, I was like,
oh man, yeah. Shout out to Castro for orchestrating this, man. You know, like I said, man, this is always fun linking up with you guys. The content is always electric. You guys are doing great work. Don't stop doing what y'all doing, man. Keep grinding. Keep putting that work in. Keep letting guys know who y'all are. You know what I mean? You know, deliver this content with a passion. Deliver this content with a swag like you never had before. And you know, Eagles fans, look, this is going to be a fun season, man. You know, no matter what happens, this is going to be a fun season. And, you know, make sure you buckle up. It's going to be a hell of a ride. It's going to be some potholes. It's going to be some dips. It's going to be some hills. But at the end of the day, I think this team goes to the playoffs. I think they get a playoff win minimum. And, you know, and I also think we win this division, man. It's going to be exciting, you guys. So stay optimistic, you know, stay humble, stay healthy, stay hungry. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe to all these guys, man. You know, check me out on Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got charges to the game. You already know how we get down, man. It's a lot of passion. It's a lot of fire over here, man. Make sure y'all don't get burnt.
Yeah. I want to say to you guys, you know, thanks for having me on. Thanks for letting me be a part of this. I go so heavy on the Sixers during basketball season that the YouTube algorithm is like Sixers. So I love talking birds. When I jump back in, YouTube's like, they shove me to the side. So thank you for having me be a part of this and get my stuff back up so YouTube can start throwing me in the search results. You know what I'm saying? Let me in here.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to Joe for hosting this. First time on Restream. I kind of like the flow. Love talking football with you guys. And when the Eagles come out, and if we are as good as we say, if we get to that 14-15 win, I am going to be unbearable. I am going to talk like crazy because how the NFC East, their content creators and their fans, they're so whiny, and so it's just going to be food if we are doing what we believe we can do. Definitely, hit the like button on everybody's, go subscribe, and the season's going to be great.
Yeah, facts.
Let me just say this way. It's going to be epic either way. Either we're going to be good and we're going to be able to talk trash, or we're going to be hiding because I don't hide, but after this offseason, if we epically fall down, it's going to be dream team vibe. So it's going to be epically good or epically bad because of what just transpired this offseason. So
yeah. Facts, yeah, and shout out to and I know you can feel me when I say this, but shout out to Tuck, shout out to Rome, shout out to James, shout out to all you Cowboys fans, because I know y'all watching. I might not say that, but I know y'all watching. I know y'all get down. We coming for y'all next, because this year is going to be a lot of fun for Philadelphia Eagles and Eagles fans alike. But other than that, man, like I said, I can't say it enough, man. I appreciate everybody on this panel, good friends of mine. So we're definitely gonna definitely get this going again. But other than that, y'all know what it is, man. It is Fly Eagles Fly, and we are out here. Peace.
Later.
Yeah. Fly Eagles flying on the team. Touchdown. Time to get Jalen this ring. You don't really want to start a thing. This a bird gang nation, baby. It's a Philly thing. Hater, and you looking like you type trash. I'm